Welcome, and I am so excited to talk to you guys about something that I'm really passionate about, and that is creating habits that actually last, because that is such an important thing. And right now it seems extra hard, right? Being at home, less motivation, COVID. So I want to talk about this habit because it really came up last week when I was doing a mindfulness session, that the topic of how to turn a simple concept, a meditation practice into a habit that actually lasts. So before we dive into how to do that, I want to just introduce myself in case you don't know me yet. My name is Lisa Winfield. I'm a certified high performance coach, and I help women to really have, to perform at their best consistently, and also to really feel great and feel energized along the way. So let's dive in. So how do we create habits that last? So we all have, you might have had the experience that you either had a habit and you fell off after 2 weeks, or you didn't even get started because you were lacking motivation. So we're going to talk about all of these things. I'm going to give you 4 kind of tips, concepts throughout the habit journey, from not even getting started to not following through. Before we dive into that, I also want you guys to know that there's always an opportunity for you to work with me one-on-one, where you and I can talk about your specific situation, your things that are coming up for you. So if you want to do that with me, you can click on the link in my bio or in the post and apply for a free strategy session with me. So let's talk about how to create habits that last. So the number one piece that I want to share with you today is actually an idea that my husband came about a few weeks ago, and we've been both using it. It's so brilliant. And it's called really the 1-minute rule. And it's so simple, right? So these are the best concepts that are so simple that we can actually pull it off. So if you feel like you're having trouble to even get started, you want to get back into running, in my case, I wanted to get back into running, or perhaps you have other, habits that just, fell off through COVID, or maybe you had something else you want to adopt for, self-care, for, feeling better, feeling more energized every day. So the 1-minute rule is so simple. So you simply commit to doing this one habit every day for 1 minute. So I'm not committing to going for a run for 20 minutes or 40 minutes. I say I have to do it for 1 minute, but every single day. And that is really brilliant because it focuses on you creating a habit versus the actual amount of 40 hours of running, 40 hours of something, 40 minutes of something else. So it really is about that habit. So 1-minute rule. Number 2 is about missing motivation and missing the discipline to actually do it. And here I want to propose something that you probably heard of, but it's about emotionally connecting every single day with your goal and with the benefits. So you want to really sit down in whatever way feels best every morning and visualize the benefits, the payoffs that you're going to have. In my case, more energy, to running every day gives me the most energy. So I wanted to really get back into that and visualizing all of those benefits every day. Because when you're connected to your why, when you're connected to your, the emotional benefits, that will drive you, because that is like the juicy pull, right? It's pulling you into it. And that really gets you fired up. So I invite you to do that first thing every day. Get fired up on, the habits you want to create for yourself. Visualize how great it's going to feel before you open your texts, your emails. Do this for yourself. Number 3 is all about really following through. Let's say you got started, you're motivated. Now, how do you keep it going? And so in high performance, we talk about trigger moments. because none of us are superhumans that just remember it all and do it all. And no, I mean, that's also where coaching comes in. And again, you're free to create to schedule a session with me anytime. But trigger moments are the little helpers throughout the day. So what do I mean with that? Trigger moments can be, for example, when you want to sleep better. I struggled with insomnia for years. So sleep became such an important thing for me. So an alarm for this habit, a trigger moment can be an alarm. So setting yourself an alarm to go off, for me it was like 8:30 to close out on all the loops, all the open things that I have to do, and really stop, even working on the computer, have a cutoff time. So the key piece here is to set an alarm for the things that you want to habitually do. You can also use Google Home or Alexa to remind you, now it's time for taking another break or run. And it can sound like it's a lot going on, but it's so simple and so reliable. It just reminds me every day to stop working at 8:30 the latest. If I ever want to work after dinner, that's our cutoff time. The second trigger moment that is a good example is the door frame. So when you come home, you walk through the door frame, you look at it, and you simply get reminded that now you want to be present with your family. So almost like setting an intention that you want to be present with your family every single day. So alarms, door frames, there's so many more. I have visual anchors. I have, for example, this ring that reminds me of being mindful. There's so many pieces that you can actually create for yourself. And the last piece that I really want to talk about is celebrating yourself to the top. I mean, I don't even know where to start with this one, because celebrating yourself for the small successes, right? So me going for a run today, like swapping out sugar for, like at least like a papaya or something more healthy. Celebrating yourself every day is so important, because you want to acknowledge yourself to the top, because that creates that momentum to keep going. Otherwise, you will not even reach that goal, right? So we need always reaffirming ourselves, kind of patting ourselves on the back. And that is really, really important to actually follow through. And another piece of celebration is actually to, might be a little bit harder these days, but celebrating with friends, meeting with friends and celebrating your small successes and sharing with them. Maybe today I did a fantastic coaching call. I, wrote a chapter on my book. I, did this live here, whatever it is. Celebrate that with friends, with people you love. It can be, over a Zoom call as well. But that is so important, because if we, isolate ourselves in terms of, if you want to write a book and then you sit alone, not ever, meeting with friends and actually sharing your successes, then it can get isolating. I used to work on, it's a little bit different these days with COVID, but when we're back in our normal life, I used to start several startups, and I tended to isolate myself and not celebrate enough. And then at the end of the day, some of these companies I created, I stopped because I lost the joy. So celebration is really important. If you do that over a Zoom call, over a phone call, or in person, to really have the joy in the process. So these are the 4 real important pieces to follow through on habits. So let's sum it up. So first piece to get started is the 1-minute rule. Second piece is to actually get motivated and stay motivated, is to connect with your goals emotionally by every day, visualizing the benefits. And number 3 was really following through by having trigger moments, which can be alarms or door frame reminders or even Post-its, whatever it is. And number 4, celebrating yourself to the top. And now I challenge you guys to take these strategies and really turn them into, your daily routines to create the habits that you want in your life, because habits are having a compound effect. In a good or in a bad way, right? If you eat everyday chips, it has a compounding effect. If you run every day, it has a compounding effect. So really know that habits are shaping who you are, and that's why it is so important. Successful people are willing to do the things that unsuccessful people are simply not willing to do. And it's the small things. So I invite you today to schedule a strategy session with me if you want to, take this further, if you want personalized support for your situation, for your, habit that you want to really create, and also learn about more high performance habits. And you can schedule that anytime by clicking the link in the bio or in my post. And until then, have a beautiful, successful rest of the week. And I'll see you guys next week again on Wednesday at 1 p.m. as always. And until then, have a beautiful, beautiful time. Bye-bye.